The countdown to terror has begun.
The signal's getting stronger now. It won't be long.
Come quick! The monster done ate my pappy!
Do you really think this was a bear, Doc?
Highly unlikely. First man on Mars. Once he was human.
There's something shiny in the rock. This is really starting to sting.
Now a bloodthirsty monster, killing and devouring the young. And not so innocent.
Let's take a look at this, huh?
I'm gonna blast the thing back to hell.
Oh, shit.
First man on Mars.
You mean there's aliens out here? Shit, I don't want to get ducted and anal.
This film is not rated.
The following feature has been rated R by the Motion Picture Association of America.
Perhaps he should have suspected something when his best friend was found horribly murdered.
I have to tell you, it's not very pleasant.
Perhaps he should have listened to his girlfriend when she warned him the bike was a killer.
Years of drug and lifestyle excesses had left most of the human race unfit for consumption.
I'm so hungry.
Clean blood is in short supply.
Where are we gonna go?
We're going to LA.
Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Ghost.
Noddy. Noddy. Hello, Noddy.
Can you help me? The guy I'm with, he thinks we're chasing vampires.
Really?
You're saying we should fear this priest?
Look at yourselves. You're already doomed.
shot on gritty Super 16mm film.
You've been following us for months.
Years. The comic book has come to life.
Yes, that's what I have to say right now, folks. Now, if you can believe that trailer lineup for tonight's show, just wait until we get into it. That's what I'm saying right now, because it is freaking insane. It's going to blow your minds. If you have not heard of Zombie Ass Toilet of the Dead, well, you're going to hear a bit about it tonight. You're going to see some more, okay? And that's just one of them. I mean, good Lord, the lineup is, well, it's bizarre, it's weird, it's occasionally disgusting. And that's the type of material that we're going to cover tonight on the Horror Mike Show. Good evening, fiends and freaks alike. And welcome to the Horror Mike Show on this fine and fiendish Friday evening. I'm your host, Horror Mike. And yeah, we're about to take a trip, an odyssey, if you will, into the very bowels of exploitation cinema. And you might want to get your Pepto ready. That's all I'm saying right there. Or some kind of Epicac, because it's going to get kind of crazy, okay? And yeah, I don't know. Maybe the show will get shut down at some point. Hard to say. I'll tell you one thing right now. It's definitely demonetized as we speak, okay? The way the shit goes, I tell you what. But in any case, you saw trailers for, Ratman. Ratman was in there. We're going to take a look at Ratman. I bought a vampire motorcycle. Yes, that's a British film that actually exists. I bought a vampire motorcycle. Good Lord. The fabulous early 90s, folks, is what I'm talking about. And a variety of other films. Some of the movies we're going to take a look at tonight are not only strange and bizarre and sometimes disgusting, but they also have hilarious names as well, as you will see in this lineup. I cannot believe it. And incredibly enough, they're all on Tubi. That's another mind blower right there. It's just kind of like, all right, Tubi, you've gone over the edge this time. That's what I'm saying. But and before those fine trailers, you saw a couple of trailers for my films. Indeed, folks, you saw a trailer for First Man on Mars. And I'm going to drop that link into the chat right. Oh, shit. No, I'm not. Well, that was the wrong link. Disregard that link, folks. Good Lord. We're not ready yet. We're not ready. There we go. Yeah, that's the link to my Blu-ray, First Man on Mars. That was the first or second trailer, one of those two that we looked at tonight at the opening of the show. And not to be left out, of course. Well, I don't know, maybe to be left out. There it is. The other trailer was for my film, Horror Anthology Movie Volume 1, which you can rent on Amazon. There's the link on Amazon Prime for $2, folks. $2 measly freaking dollars. You can rent it. It's 2 hours long, 6 segments. Almost all of it is sci-fi horror. Okay. You want to find out about the real cordyceps terror? Watch Horror Anthology Movie Volume 1. That's what I'm saying. You want to find out about bio-nanotechnology gone horribly wrong? Watch Horror Anthology Movie Volume 1, my good fiends. That's what I'm saying. $2. $2, Chuck. You can't lose. That's what I'm talking about right now. So there you have it, folks. Let's go to the chat without further delay and see how many people are visibly sick so far. We haven't even gotten into it. Okay, let's see. Well, Kevin Hurlant is here. Hello, Kevin. Good to see you. My good feet. I Am One of Us is here. Hello, I Am One of Us. Dave James is with us tonight. Excellent. Right Knight 70 is here. Hello, Right Knight 70. Bizarre Night. That's what I'm talking right now, and it's bizarre. Rick Henson is here. Hello, Rick Henson. How you doing? Werewolf by Lunchtime is here. Hello, Werewolf. Mr. Joshua says, zombie ass. Yes. Toilet of the Dead. Okay. Now, folks, I'm just cautioning you all now. Don't eat anything during this show. I would advise against it. Yeah. That's all I'm saying. Just don't eat anything. You may need to drink something. And I'm talking, alcohol to get through this mother. But do not eat anything. That's what I'm saying right now. Yep, it's zombie ass. Yes. It is a classic. It is a classic of Japanese extreme cinema. And while it is not as great as Tokyo Gore Police, which I could consider to be one of the all-time great Japanese horror films, there's no doubt about that. It's just truly a great, surreal, hilarious, extreme horror film. Zombie Ass Toilet of the Dead is definitely extreme. Let's put it that way. It's lower budget. But there's some really funny scenes. There's some stuff they do in this film that, the Japanese and their sick sense of humor. That's what I'm talking about. Japanese zombie movies are wild. They are indeed wild. Right Knight says, what pray tell hath I stumbled into? It is madness. I say madness. Radamus is here. Hello, Radamus. Left-handed Jedi is with us. Is this thing on? Oh. Dave James says later on the Japanese came out with Rape Zombies Lust of the Dead. Good Lord. I have not even seen that one. I dare Tubi to put that one on. Now I know that, of course, obviously they have Zombie Ass, and they have or at least they had Tokyo Gore Police. I haven't checked that recently to see if it's still there. But that's another great one. We may have to look into that, folks, because that's one that you really should see if you haven't seen it. Left-handed Jedi says the Audition's great Japanese psycho horror film. Yes, that is true, but it's not hilarious and it's not outrageously bizarre like these films. It's just it's a horror film. You know what I'm saying? For serious horror auteurs or something like that. And there it is once again, folks. That is the link to my film on Blu-ray. That is First Man on Mars. Signed and numbered, folks. That's what I'm talking about right now. First Man on Mars. PBR Street Gang is here. Hello, PBR. To be or not to be? That is the question. And the answer is, well, definitely yes tonight. As we look at some of the most insane films on Tubi. That's kind of what tonight's about. You know, what has happened with Tubi? Who's really in control over there? Okay? Or what is in control is what I'm really getting at. Once again, folks, there's the link to my film. You can rent it for $2. It's Horror Anthology Movie Volume 1. If you like sci-fi horror, I think you're going to like this film. Ain't no doubt. Werewolf is scared to go to the toilet. Yeah. That's what's going to happen tonight. Once we dig deeper into the subject matter pull out the chunky bits that are lodged in Uranus. Or was that Pluto? One of those two planets. Dave James says, tonight's show, the definition of not safe for work. Good Lord, yes. Dave James, I would say that, and that is why I put the R rate. This whole thing is R rated, folks, and that's why I put that warning up at the beginning. If you guys missed it, it's R rated. Very no doubt about that. It is freaking R rated. Left-Handed Jedi just dropped me $10. Thank you, Left-Handed Jedi. I appreciate that, my good man. Such a great show. Deserves support. Thank you. I completely concur. My good fiend. Thank you very much, Left-Handed Jedi. You're a scholar and a gentleman, and not necessarily in that order. Okay, folks. Well, check it out. All right. Now, last week, remember, I was going to show you guys something. And I was like, yes, I'm going to get it Wednesday, which would have been this past Wednesday. I did not get it in the mail, folks. It did not come. And according to USPS, I'm not getting it until tomorrow. It's one of those things, it's a holiday week. Things get screwed up, I know. But in any case, so that's next week. That's for next Friday night. And you're not going to want to miss it, folks. You're not going to want to miss this. It's going to be it's so damn good. I'm doing a video on it. Okay. That's how good this stuff is. So, and I'm talking about in the illustrated sci-fi horror fantasy comic magazine area. That's what's happening. So that's next week. But a couple of things I did find out this past week I wasn't aware of. I think you guys are going to want to check this out. Okay, now, when we think back to illustrated sci-fi, horror, and fantasy magazines, in the origins, some of the first ones that really come up are like Creepy and Eerie, Vampirella, really more so Creepy and Eerie, and Eerie publications like Weird and Tales of Voodoo and stuff, because those were in the early to mid 60s. They began in that era. Illustrated horror and sci-fi magazines, whatever you want to call them, but they encompassed all of the genres. And so those were fantastic. And then, of course, to go along with that, pardon me, there were a lot of fanzines that came out in the 60s, a ton of them. I've got several. I know many of you guys have them. But it wasn't until the mid 70s, 1974 to 1975, that something happened that changed the landscape of sci-fi, horror, and fantasy illustrated magazines forever. It was revolutionary. And that was Metal Hurlant, which came out in France. December of 1974, it was officially released here in the States, January of 1975. And so 2 years later, of course, its American counterpart, its English counterpart, Heavy Metal, came out April of 1977. And the rest was history. Those two magazines just completely charted the course as far as I'm concerned. Then you had a ton of magazines that were definitely knockoffs of those, or, and you can't blame them. It's like something hits and it's good. You're going to see a lot of different variations on those themes. But for me, those were the two, right? Those were the two freaking great magazines. As a matter of fact, I just realized I had this. Oops. Now, this is a bound edition of the first 7 issues of Metal Hurlant, right? Absolutely fantastic. This is Of course, issue number 1 with that insanely great Mobius cover. Incredible. Only 8 francs. Yes, 8 francs, folks. I mean, holy crap. And just insane. Of course, I had to go to some more Mobius, and this is Arzak. I mean, look at the color reproductions on it. It just blew my mind. Now, when this came out, I was too young. I was, God, barely a teenager. So it was a few years later, 1977, 1978, that I bought some of these issues of Metal Hurlant. And they were, I believe I bought the first issues from Bud Plant, because Bud Plant would go to conventions, and he would, Bud Plant was one of the original sellers of a ton of European and other foreign publications. And he was the first official distributor for Metal Hurlant. Now, this is issue number 3. Absolutely fantastic cover. Love that. This is another cover right here, folks, that never made it to heavy metal. That was never a heavy metal cover. Don't know why. It kicks ass. But you know how those things went. They had their difference. There were differences. There were definitely differences. Obviously, they loved the yeah. Let me see. Yeah. In issue number 3, of course, it is the first appearance of Den in Metal Hurlant. And Den would also appear in the first issues of Heavy Metal. So this is a bound volume of the first 7 issues of Metal Hurlant. Hold on. Gotta dig out I've got this, which is fantastic. Nope, that's not it. There we go. I know I've got the first issues of Heavy Metal, but this one was right at the front, and it's really great. Highly recommended. They're not that expensive. You can find them in really good shape. This is the first volume of the best of Heavy Metal, and it's really good. They do a great job with these selections. And as on the back, you can see, I mean, look at that lineup, folks. You got Bilal, Kaza, Clavelo, Corbin, Droulet, McKee, Angus McKee, Mobius, Nicolay, Picotto, Schutten, and Suidam, Arthur Suidam, right there, man. Arthur Suidam was just, it's hard to believe how far back that guy goes. He's still doing it, as far as I know, today. He may be one of the longest go. If I'm not mistaken, he was doing stuff for Metal Hurlant in 1975. So at least that long, but he was probably around sooner than that. So he's closing in on, what is that? I mean, at least 50 years for Arthur Suidam. In any case, it's the best of Heavy Metal. So you have Metal Hurlant, and then Heavy Metal comes out 2 years later, right? And so check this out. I'm going to drop this sucker in on the screen. I just found out about this. Some of you guys may know already. But first off, let's take a look at the Kickstarter page for Heavy Metal magazine, in case you guys aren't aware. Now, they've had a really good beginning. As you can see, it's actually quite incredible what they have done in the first 11. I guess that's the first 11. No, what am I talking about? It's only been up for a few days. In any case, it's approaching $350,000, which is freaking nuts, man. So, and with what is that? Almost 4,000 backers. That is incredible. So so here's my question to you guys. If you guys have heard anything about these, I really haven't. I just started looking into it when I saw it. There was a post that I saw that they had launched the thing for heavy metal. And I was like, well, that's, right up my alley, potentially. You never know. It's like they could have just a load of crap. Hard to say, but it looks pretty good. Let's take a little look at it. We're making heavy metal heavy again, they're saying here. Make sure this is following. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so of course they show us the legacy contributors. You've got Frank Frazetta, Mobius, John Carpenter, Frank Miller, obviously H.R. Giger, Bernie Wrightson, Enki Bilal is in there, Harlan Ellison, Jack Kirby, Robert Crumb. I mean, incredible, right? And a lot of people that were influenced by Heavy Metal Magazine, including James Cameron, George Lucas, Ridley Scott. But I was, of course, my first thought was, well, how's the art? First, let's take a look at a few of the covers. Now, this is the main cover right here, issue number 1. And it's a Greg Hildebrandt cover, which looks totally cool, And it's going back to, of course, to the heavy metal movie theme, which is great. So we got that. And this is, I guess, variant B, which is, of course, Frazetta. They're taking that classic. Let me see what the hell it says here. It is what they call the Sword and Sorcery variant. So that's going to be cover number 2. Now, these magazines, I believe they're 100 pages. They might be longer than that, but they're at least 100 pages, my good fiends. And so the normal issue is going to cost you $15. Now, that's not bad. That, when you consider, that's what it easily what like Fangoria or Rue Morgue, aren't those like $15 now? So that's not outrageous. Let's put it that way. Let's go further down. Some more variant covers. You got a Skinner cover there. Blank sketch variant, of course. Stuff like that. Some more guys. Nikos. I don't know any of these dudes. So that's the thing. It's like I want to see like who's doing the art in here, what's going on. You know what I'm saying? They have contributors that, okay. It says Frank Frazetta. I think they're just talking about the one cover. Now, I know Enki Bilal does a story. He does art for a story, which is good. That Hildebrandt cover is freaking great, man. That is just fantastic. So, here we go. So, there's a pencil variant cover. I'm going to go through these kind of quick. There's the Skinner cover. Pretty cool looking. Kind of interesting. Okay, there's a lot of Tarna going on here. I kind of like that one. Pretty cool. The B-17 Ghoul. You could get some pens. Now they are going to offer the issue, a couple of these issues in hardcover. Okay. And if we scroll down here, yeah, here we go. Hardcover is going to set you back $60 for the hardcover. And then they've got virgin metal variants, metal covers, you know. They do have some, what the hell are these? Oh yeah, they're, 3D resin models, which apparently are 6.5 inches long, tall, which is pretty good. So you get 3 of those for $90. Kind of cool. They look really good too. Okay, let's move on, shall we? Oh God, they got black metal edition. Okay. Yeah, this thing is like they've got a lot of different variations, folks. Let's just put it that way. So here we go. Heavy Metal #1 interior sneak peek. Oh yeah. Before I forget, I just dropped the link in the chat there. So if you guys want to take a look at the page, there it is. So yeah, there we go. Now there's, once again, it's Tarna. I mean, the art looks all right. You know, fine, I guess. It doesn't excite me that much. Now this is the Enki Bilal story. It's called Bug. And that's definitely Enki Bilal art. There ain't no doubt about it. And it looks really good. Right? You know, no complaints there. That could be good. Now there's this guy. I don't know who he is. Vicente Segrelis. The Mercenary. Looks pretty cool. Definitely. Kind of liking that. And yet some more Tarna. Legends of Tarna. It's a short story. Okay. Good Lord. Then we have Return of Burton and Sib. Jose Ortiz, who is quite good. So that's probably going to be good. It looks pretty funny. And this is, I don't know, Janevsky, The Last Roots. I don't know who that is. Kind of looks cool. You know, I don't know. And then we have a little bit of Grimaldi. Not really thrilled about this particular art style, but okay. Of course, Grimaldi is the, astronaut in the car in the movie, flying around space. Tim Vigil, Transcend Destiny. Kind of looks like he's channeling a bit of Swamp Thing right there. But it looks pretty good. So as you can see, there's some pros and cons on the art. $15, I'm probably thinking I'm going to get I'm probably just going to get the classic copy with the Hildebrandt cover for $15. And check it out. See what the hell's going on. That's my take on that whole thing, my good fiends. All right. But it just so happens that coincidentally or not, all right, I don't know. Check this out. What have we here? Oui. It is Metal Hurlant. Metal Hurlant also they've launched a Kickstarter. Now, here's the thing, folks. Metal Hurlant is a magazine, and it's a current magazine in French, right? I've got one issue or two issues of the publication, but it's in French, right? The whole thing about this Kickstarter is that this Metal Hurlant is going to be in English. Yes. So that's a plus right off the bat. Okay. Let's take a closer look, shall we? Now, it's one of the things, too. One of the covers is going to be, I believe it was cover number 6 of the original Metal Hurlant, the Mobius Airtight Garage of Jerry Cornelius. And it's beautiful. Just one of Mobius's great covers. Of course, he did so many great ones, but that's looking to be one of the covers. But before we dive into this, let me go back to the chat and see what people are saying. Batman album comics. Nope. No Batman album comics for Damas. Mobius did some of the work for the heavy metal movie. Yes, you are correct, sir. I got the graphic novel of Texarkana about the Wild West vampire. Comic book movies, yes. That was one of those things as well, folks, that, between Metal Hurlant and heavy metal, you saw a lot of that. A lot of that was going on. Must have been her first time with the New Yorker. Okay. Arthur Suidam, still doing the Comic Cons. Met him in 2023. There you go, folks. Tarnin's going to sell it. Yeah, I just hope it doesn't oversell it, Left-Handed Jedi. You can only lean on one character so much, and there's a lot of it. There's a lot of Tarna in there. Is Kaza still alive? Yeah, to my knowledge. Kaza is still alive, Radamus. Cover 2 reminds me of Boris Vallejo's work. Well, it is Frazetta. So. Didn't Heavy Metal or one of its artists put out a comic illustrated version of Alien? Yes. There was the it was oh God, forget who the artist was. It was the same artist for the whole thing. It was Heavy Metal Presents Alien, wasn't it? And it was a very famous artist, man. Really great artist. I just can't. Not coming to me. Once again, folks, there's the Kickstarter for the heavy metal. I'm sticking with my OG heavy metal and my OG Metal Hurlant. Indeed. Well, that's, I just figure it this way. $15 for issue number 1. I think it's 15 for Metal Hurlant too. I'll give him a gander, because some of the stuff in that heavy metal looks pretty good. KO Joe's with us. Hello, KO Joe. Good to see you, my good fiend. All right, folks, let's take a closer look to inside this Metal Hurlant. They're doing really good too. Check it out, man. God, they're approaching $500,000 with almost 3,000 backers and 13 days to go. That is insane. Metal Hurlant, prepare yourselves. You may ask yourself, what is Metal Hurlant? Well, we pretty much all know. There's the geniuses. Great photo of all the great, this incredible freaking, the founders of Metal Hurlant. You got Jean-Pierre Dionnet left to right, Bernard Farkas, then Mobius, and then Philippe Droulet on the far right. It's, it's a powerhouse, folks. So, and they do point out in here, somewhere, they point out very specifically that Metal Hurlant is not heavy metal. So there's one thing. Now, one of the only things that caught me about this, let's take a look at the art. Yeah, Denis Villeneuve, very much inspired by Metal Hurlant. Some great Kaza here. As a Robert Crumb portrait of, I believe that's Philip K. Dick, if I'm not mistaken. So apparently some Robert Crumb's going to be in here. Yeah, so there you go, folks. Well, let's go to the issues. There we go. Soft cover. Now, here's the one thing I know, and this is interesting because here it says, you know, with the soft cover or hardcover, obviously, it's the same issue. Issue number 1. It's 272 pages. Now, let's take a look down here. Yeah, so 200, it's here, a single issue is $30. However, it's not 100 pages like heavy metal. This freaking thing is 200. It's almost 3 times the size of heavy metal for $30. That's something to consider. Got all this stuff. Let's get down to the art. There's a bunch of tears and crap, as they always do. I'm going to drop this one. There we go. Yeah, all right. So there's the Kickstarter for Metal Hurlant. Right there. Let's go back. Oopsie. There we go. And now there's some prime Philippe Droulet right there. Just beautiful. Yeah. Is Metal Hurlant the same thing as heavy metal? In a word, no. Well, there you go, folks. That's it. With this Kickstarter, you're not seeing much as far as the interior stories. They do have a list of the stories. You may have noticed that up here. Right here. Highlights from the first year of Metal Hurlant include these stories. Right now, I'm looking here. I'm like, okay, all right. You got various artists and writers here. The only one that kind of put me off a bit was this last one, Alter. Isn't Mark Waid that douchebag, woke comic book douchebag? If so, that's kind of troublesome. I believe that's the idiot that I'm thinking about. But I'm not 100% sure on that. So there you go, folks. That is Metal Hurlant, and that is also launching. It's got 13 days to go, so there's time on that, which is totally cool. I'm just going to go back here and drop this in the thing there. All right. Yeah, so there you go, folks. That's what's happening with heavy metal and Metal Hurlant. Unbelievably, they've both relaunched. Now let's be real about this. This isn't the first time, right? Heavy metal launched. God, I think heavy metal has come back 2 or 3 times, and Metal Hurlant has come back at least once, and that is in its current French language iteration. So now they're doing an English language version, which is totally cool, All right. So there you go, folks. That is what's going on in heavy metal Hurlant land. All right. Let us look now. It's a Tubi. Let's see what I can do. Oh, yeah, that's right. I guess I got to drop it in there. I don't. Do this. No, good Lord. Here we go. Get ready, folks. Get bloody ready for this. As we go over to Tubi and witness this wild freaking list of movies I have for you tonight. There we go. Yeah, those are real, folks. I bought a vampire motorcycle. That is. And also Fertilize the Blaspheming Bombshell. That is yet another one, for fuck's sake. Absolutely hilarious. So, here we go. All right. Let's dive right in, shall we? I bought a vampire motorcycle, folks. It was, I should have suspected when the brand said Kawasaki. See what I did there? In any case, here we are. I bought a vampire motorcycle from 1990. Comedy, horror, fantasy. Good Lord. When a motorbike gang kills an occultist, the evil spirit he was summoning inhabits a damaged bike, and it sets out looking for vengeance. Good Lord, folks. What can I say about this film? It's got some moments to it. One of the problems, really the biggest problem I had with this film is that some of the scenes at night are too dark. I mean, they could have, invested in another light, perhaps. So that was pretty much my prime complaint. It is kind of a goofy horror comedy. And naturally, for the kickoff film, I must have a trailer, and I do. So get ready. Ready yourselves, folks, because here comes I Bought a Vampire Motorcycle.
Most good motorcycles run on gasoline. This is a bad motorcycle. It runs on blood. Unfortunately, the bike's previous owner is now dead.
1.5 grand's a bit heavy for a crashed bike.
No, the bike's not been crashed. The last owner didn't die on it. Had an accident with a crossbow.
Nick Oddy is the machine's new legal owner, but he will never have true possession of it because it's already possessed by someone or something else. Perhaps he should have suspected something when his best friend was found horribly murdered.
I have to tell you, it's not very pleasant.
Perhaps he should have listened to his girlfriend when she warned him the bike was a killer.
Well, where is it now then?
Well, how the hell should I know? It just drove off.
What, all by itself?
Yes.
It roams the streets alone to satisfy its lust for blood.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Ghost. Shit!
Noddy. Noddy. Hello, Noddy.
You're under arrest! Anything you say, maybe taken down and used in evidence against you! And now, it's death time!
Made of steel, forged in hell. No one is safe from the wheels of death. Beware the vampire motorcycle could be right up your street.
She's such a lethal machine. She runs on blood instead of gasoline.
There we go, folks. That's the trailer to I Bought a Vampire Motorcycle, currently on Tubi. So if you didn't think you could get it any worse than that, we have Fertilize, the Blaspheming Bombshell. Yes, that's the next film here. Good Lord. I don't know. It's 1992. We're sticking in the early 90s, my good fiends. As it says, a woman traveling from Brooklyn to Las Vegas is menaced by a cult of maniacal Satan worshipers hell-bent on getting her to bear the devil's child. Bo Hopkins happens to be in this freaking movie, folks, and I can tell you a couple of things. Much like the vampire motorcycle film, one of the problems that Fertilize, the Blaspheming Bombshell has is lighting during night sequences. Okay, there's a couple of things that take place at night, and man, I swear to God, if you saw this thing at a drive-in, you'd probably be wanting your money back because it would probably be dark, like black. However, there are some pluses. There is some really fine TNA in this particular film, so that's, you know, it's a bit of this, it's a bit of give and take. Let's put it that way with this film. Yes, it's kind of pedestrian in the way that it's, you know, paced, but there are some good scenes. Let's put it that way. And that cover is ridiculous as well. But recommended if, you know, maybe as a double bill with I Bought a Vampire Motorcycle. Let me put it that way. On the other hand, Luther the Geek. Oh, yes, folks. Luther the Geek is definitely a much better film. This is from 1989, so we're going back a couple of years. It's actually pretty well done. Low budget, obviously, but still, like, just, you can tell they've upped the production budget a little more for this particular film. As it says, after spending 20 years in prison, a psychotic killer convicted of multiple murders is released on parole and sets off on a killing spree. There you go, folks. That is Luther the Geek, and it's got some good gore effects. It definitely has some noteworthy TNA. There ain't no doubt about it. It delivers in spades on that end. And as I said before, it's actually a fairly well done film. So it's the first one in this, you know, lineup that I would actually recommend, you know. And as it states, Luther the Geek, they kind of get into a little historical background on geeks, you know, these poor deranged people that would bite the heads off of chickens. And so you can naturally see where that's going for this particular film. Luther the Geek. I love that poster art too. That's quite nice indeed. There we go, folks. We have Invasion of the Girl Snatchers next. Now, I have covered this before, but of course, it's with a title like Invasion of the Girl Snatchers. You got to bring it in, okay, for this evening's look at bizarre films and their strange titles. From 1973, okay, and I've seen this film once, almost twice. It does have some redeeming scenes in it. It is very low budget. There ain't no doubt about that. As it says, a criminal couple on the run encounters a UFO cult led by a sorcerer at a remote farm where women's bodies are implanted with the souls of aliens. So that's kind of the name of that tune. with Invasion of the Girl Snatchers. And yeah, you know, I mean, it's got some good scenes in it. It's nothing really to write home about. One of the best things about Invasion of the Girl Snatchers is this freaking great key art. I love that poster. That is just beautiful, really. And it's pretty much nothing like the movie. That's another thing that kind of gets you there. Great key art, doesn't quite deliver in the movie. Next up, one that I've never seen before. I still have not seen the entire film. Didn't even know it existed. Okay. Samurai Priest Vampire Hunter. And you may have recognized that guy on the cover. None other than Tim Thomerson, my good fiends. Now, this film was from 2009. Never heard of it. As it says, the cowboy hat-wearing, sword-wielding samurai priest vampire hunter is out for revenge on a clique of 4 vampires who are in search of pure blood. As I said, Tim Thomerson in the lead role, but Ken Foree and Tiffany Shepis are also in this film, amazingly enough. It's, you know, that's not a cast to sneeze at right there, especially with those 3 in it. Fortunately, I do have a trailer, I believe. Yep, here we go. Check out this trailer. If somebody knows anything about this comic book, because presumably this is based upon a comic book called Samurai Priest Vampire Hunter. I've never heard of it, but it indicates that in the trailer. Check it out.
Years of drug and lifestyle excesses had left most of the human race unfit for consumption.
I'm so hungry.
Clean blood is in short supply.
Where are we gonna go?
We're going to L.A. We're going to L.A. for clean blood. I've seen that car before.
Death was finally coming for the undead.
I've been chasing them for as long as I can remember.
Every single day, he chooses to hunt you down like the rabid dogs that you are.
They're becoming extinct and fighting amongst themselves.
Can you help me? The guy I'm with, he thinks we're chasing vampires.
Really? You're saying we should fear this priest?
Look at yourselves. You already do.
Whiskey and kills people with a samurai sword?
You shot on gritty Super 16mm film.
You've been following us for months. Years.
The comic book has come to life.
They're ravenous for that pure blood.
Tim Thomerson is Samurai Priest Vampire Hunter.
Let her rip.
We'll just have to improvise.
This hunt's personal.
Oh, ain't Sunday, is it?
You got that right.
There you go, folks. It's Tim Thomerson in Samurai Priest Vampire Hunter, which I plan on watching. It is on my list, obviously, and I am going to check that one out. You know, I like Tim Thomerson. What can I say? I mean, this is much later. You know, it's I don't it's past his heyday. Let's put it that way. And obviously, you know, he's much older here. This is a 2009 film, but it looks interesting. Ken Foree in there, Tiffany Shepis also in there, so it could be quite good. I don't know. It's hard to tell with that trailer. It's low budget. Ain't no doubt about that. But the comic book connection makes it kind of interesting. Next up, folks, you know, if you've got a latrine available, don't go in the woods. Just use the bathroom, for Christ's sake, because if you go in the woods, you're liable to piss on a bear and get your head whacked off. Okay, that's what I'm talking about right now. So don't go in the woods. Warning, this motion picture depicts some scenes of graphic violence. Everyone has nightmares about the ugliest way to die. Don't go in the woods. 1981, folks. This cult classic, okay, that's kind of pushing it, follows a group of oblivious campers who encounter a bloodthirsty psycho watching and waiting for them in the woods. Watching and waiting for them to go in the woods. That's kind of where that's at. It's been years since I've seen this one, folks, but I had to put it in there because of the obvious title. You know, that poster art is pretty damn hilarious as well. But let's quickly move on, shall we, to some better selections. But before we do that, let me get back to the chat because I know some people have chimed in. Let's see where we're at here. Radama says Philippe Joulet was a great ink sling-off. He still is. He's still quite alive. Well, I don't know if he's quite alive, but he's still alive. Dave James says, back in 2012, there was a live-action Metal Hurlant TV show released, 2 seasons, 6 each, 30 minutes per episode. Don't know if it's streaming anywhere. There's a couple of those episodes on YouTube. At least 2 or 3, like the full episodes. It's a mixed bag. Let's put it that. It's a real mixed bag, Dave James. As a matter of fact, I don't know. I wasn't really that thrilled with what I saw. It was all right. Look, I've seen a couple of the movies, like that movie Immortal by Inky Bilal, which is totally Metal Hurlant. Get a chance, check that one out. That's really good. It's a feature-length film with more of a budget. Let's put it that way. There's a few other ones by some Metal Hurlant alumni that are really good. But that Metal Hurlant TV show is a bit of a mixed bag, in my opinion. Apex Comics is here. Hello, Apex. Time for some zombie ass. We're getting there. We're getting there, folks. Smacks of the car. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Yeah, vampire motorcycle. Christine on 2 wheels. It's a Norton. Yes, it is a Norton. But I had to say Kawasaki because it's a vampire. Get it? C-3PO is in that one. Hey, Norton. Radam says, met Peter Cooper at Big Apple Comic-Con last Saturday. I purchased some of his reprint comics. And who is Peter Cooper? Did I mention him? Is he somebody? Did he do that samurai comic book for Damas? I don't fucking know. Explain, please. Right Knight 70 says, don't worry, that vampire motorcycle will not run long with those Locus electrical parts. There you go. All right, folks, let's move on. You know, there's nothing like dead dudes in the house. And the one thing about this film is this. Watch the trailer that's on Tubi. I could not find that trailer. So I've got another trailer that is not as good. The one on Tubi is actually pretty damn funny. I believe this was originally a Trauma release. Dead Dudes in the House. It's also known as something else. But I prefer Dead Dudes in the House, for Christ's sake. Oh my God. Okay. 1989. Yeah, The House on Tombstone Hills. That's what it was originally known as, or it's just another title. 1989. A group of friends rehabbing an old house find themselves facing off against its long dead former owner who doesn't approve of their renovation plans. There you go, folks. That is Dead Dudes in the House. And, well, what can I say? This one, this trailer is not nearly as fun. Fortunately, it's only a minute long. Check this out.
Hey man, you really put a down payment on this thing?
It's just to fix it up. Besides, you practically gave it away.
Yeah, maybe there's a reason for that.
Where do you think all that blood came from? It's your boyfriend's blood.
There you go, folks. A strange trailer. Hey, Jimmy cracked corn and I don't care. Apparently it's the theme song. I don't know. The other trailer that's on Tubi is better. It's funnier. So there you go. That is fortunately, the 1 minute trailer for Dead Dudes in the House. So there you go. You got this demonic grandma type character that's killing off all these dudes. And I guess bringing them back to life is the undead. That's kind of the gist of it. Fortunately, that brings us to Ratman. Ratman, Ratman. Yes, indeed, folks, it's Ratman. And I just love that key art. It's that guy that they used in all those other films. He's in Ratman. 1988, horror, foreign, international, of course. The murder of her fashion model sister sends a young woman and her boyfriend to a Caribbean island and into the belly of a horrifying rat-like beast. Oh boy. Okay. All right, folks, look. This one, it starts off really good. As a matter of fact, the opening scene of the scientist kind of quasi-tormenting the poor Ratman who's in a little cage is actually pretty good. And then it just goes off into this freaking ridiculous subplot of, okay, look, they're bikini-clad models on a beach, you know, with the photographer. And, of course, they get menaced by the Ratman and some other people. So, okay, the bikini babes, not bad, but it kind of went from really creepy and dark to kind of goofy really quick. That was my complaint with Ratman. And boy, do they pad this film. There's one scene of this woman getting menaced by an unknown person. It's not the Ratman at the beginning. It's somebody else. And I swear to God, it's like 20 freaking minutes long. It's ridiculously padded. Okay. That's my complaint with Ratman. But fortunately, there is a hilarious trailer. Wait until you check this freaking trailer out to Ratman. There you go, folks. That pretty much summarizes the entire film of Ratman. And yes, there's a couple of really good scenes. As I mentioned, the opener I thought was really creepy. And then there's just some really way too long, drawn out scenes that could have been half the length. Just padding the film, unfortunately. But the Ratman does look pretty damn cool. I will say that. And there are a couple of, I would say, decent kill scenes. Let's put it that way. Next up, thou shalt not kill, except there are some exceptions, folks, to the rule, apparently, in this film. And they definitely want to mention from the producers of The Evil Dead. And you'll see a connection there in a second. From 1985, horror action. When a Vietnam veteran returns home, he bands his war buddies together to take down a killer cult after learning his girlfriend has been kidnapped. Now, as we see, it stars Scott Spiegel, Ted Raimi, and Sam Raimi is also in this film. So there you go. You got your Raimi brothers right there. Of course, the Evil Dead squad. And so I guess there's the producer credits, directed by Josh Becker. And I watched a couple of scenes from it. I don't know. I doubt I'm going to see it. Let's just put it that way. There are a couple of things I thought it was worthy of putting it in this list. The title is pretty hilarious, and it's got the Raimi brothers connection with the Evil Dead. All right, here we go, folks. We're heading we're heading far east here, folks, on this list. Good Lord. And we're all over the place as far as time goes. We've got, let me get back to the chat first before I dive into this, because this is going to be hellacious right here. Good Lord. Let's see. Radamus, Peter Cooper was making a name during the Arkham days on the ground. Then he turned political cartoonist, most famous for Spy versus Spy. Oh, okay. Dead dudes in the house. Everyone knows ghosts hate those open concept floor plans. My good friends. Radamus says Peter Cooper began as an underground artist, then did Spy versus Spy for Mad Magazine in the 80s. Holy shit, okay. Yeah, Spy vs. Spy was one of my favorite things of Mad. Of course, I'm talking like 70s, though. Forget who originally did Spy vs. Spy. He was way later. Okay, so, yeah. Got it. Ratman. That is indeed the case with the Ratman. Ratman trailer looks like it was filmed in someone's basement. Radamus, and it could have been. Okay, that's kind of where I'm going with that type of thing. But at least, folks, we're here. We're on the terrible trio listing here. And this, as I said before, it goes all over the place. We begin this I had to add this in, basically just to get 3 Asian films on the list on one line. But also Vampire Clay. This is a ridiculous movie. Check it out. All right. This is actually a newer film, too, from 2017, folks. Not even 10 years old. As it says, absurdity and gore ensue as a demonically possessed pile of clay terrorizes students at a rural art school in Japan after an earthquake. Yeah, you heard that right, folks. That's exactly what the hell goes on in this freaking bizarre movie. I watched a bit of it, let's put it that way. And yeah, it does have a interesting creature, I guess. I mean, he's bizarre enough. That's him on the cover there, or at least one of them. This kind of clay monster type of thing. But yeah, for a vampire film, it doesn't really have a lot of teeth, if you know what I mean. So I just kind of put it on there. I probably should have put Tokyo Gore Police in here. Matter of fact, let's go to Zombie Ass of the Dead, Toilet of the Dead for a second. I want to see something. Not anything there. Okay. Hold on, guys. Let me just do a quick. I want to see if there's. They've got Tokyo Gore Police. Oh, they do? What do you know? Wow. They've got the original subtitle, and then they have English dubbed version. If you haven't seen Tokyo Gore Police, see it. Okay? That's what I'm saying right now. Tokyo Gore Police. Unbelievably, it's still on Tubi. And it is way better than Zombie Ass Toilet of the Dead. Although Zombie Ass Toilet of the Dead it's got something. Let's get back to it, folks. Let's get back to it. All right. Zombie, yeah. Let me take this. Oopsie. From 2011. Good Lord. Zombie Ass Toilet of the Dead. A camping trip in the woods for a group of teen friends becomes a gastrointestinal standoff with a herd of fecally charged zombies and a mad doctor. Oh yeah, folks. That's what I'm talking about right now. This film is beyond belief. In the first place, yeah, it's a film that when you're watching it, you're like, how can this film exist? And that's a valid question, okay? As I said before, if you're going to watch this film, do not eat. Do not eat before or during this film. That's what I would suggest, because it is freaking disgusting, okay? This film is just almost 90 minutes of nauseating hilarity. That's all I have to say about it. It's hard to believe what the hell goes on in Zombie Ass Toilet of the Dead. It's low budget. As I said, Tokyo Gore Police is kind of a higher budget version of this film. And it's scratch that. It's a higher budget counterpart to this film, because Tokyo Gore Police is extreme. There's a lot of like graphic gore in it, but you can tell they had more money to work with. That's all there is to it. And it's also not nearly as disgusting as Zombie Ass Toilet of the Dead. Okay. They went for the full gross you out, make you puke. If any film in the 21st century deserved a barf bag, it's zombie ass Toilet of the Dead, folks. There ain't no doubt about that. And with that, of course, I have a trailer for zombie ass Toilet of the Dead. Check this out. The quality isn't the greatest, but you get the gist.
This is most dangerous movie. I'm writing, breathing. It's only a movie, only a movie, only a movie. Say wake up. 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 It's a torment. Zombie ass. This is Japanese zombie. They are living with a torment. They purple. They are danger. 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 마신과 무게시 너와 에이지 노벨 아리사나 가무 아사나 가무 마이 지라노 더니 안도 지소 너무 시작 무비 너무 에이지 좀비야.
There you go. Am I still on? Are we still live? Hold on. Let me just check after that freaking thing. Okay, I guess so. Amazingly enough. Okay, that's just a little taste right there, folks. It's like that. It gets way more insane than that. Okay, if you thought that stuff was beyond the pale, wait until you see this whole film. Okay, once again, don't eat. Just don't do it while you're watching this film. I'm telling you. Oh God, it is one sick flick. Good Lord. Let me get back to the chat here and see if anybody is thrown up yet. Dave Jane says Japan can put out some really good films, but then there is zombie ass. There you go, right there. Cropophilic zombie porn, says Kevin. Yes, good Lord. It is just, I don't know. Tokyo Gore Police putting the crackdown on the zombie ass. Yeah, man, you guys, if anybody who hasn't seen Tokyo Gore Police, that's the one. That's really the one to see. You know, I should have put that one in the lineup. Did he say taste? Oh God. Oh, Jesus. I could not imagine. Just wait until you see this film. If you've got the nerve to watch zombie ass, you're gonna find out. It's hard to believe. Was that guy? That was the shit zombie. Yes. So there you go, folks. At your discretion. Definitely. Zombie ass Toilet of the Dead. And finally on this lineup, we come to Bloody Muscle Bodybuilder in Hell. And as it says below that, AKA the Japanese Evil Dead. I love the key art on this. I love the key art on Zombie Ass too. That looks really great. That's really cool. Matter of fact, I combined both of these for my thumbnail. They were so damn good, along with a bit of Ratman in there. But I do love the key art on this. That is just gorgeous. For Bloody Muscle Bodybuilder in Hell. aka Japanese Evil Dead. Okay, so you may be wondering what the heck? It's a 90s film, folks, 1995 to be precise. And it's only an hour and 4 minutes, so it's 64 minutes long. As it says, trapped inside a haunted house, a bodybuilder named Shinji must save himself and his friends from a demonic ghost before it's too late. Yeah, that's what you got to do there. Good Lord. This film is pretty nuts. I would kind of describe it as a lower budget version of the original Evil Dead, Sam Raimi's Evil Dead from 1981. Just think of kind of about that, but lower budget. So, aka cheaper special makeup effects and practical effects. That's where it's at, folks. But it does have a really good trailer, and there are some great scenes in this particular film. It definitely delivers in some areas, right? It's not always good, but overall, it's definitely worth seeing. I would say that. And I got a trailer for it. Check this thing out. There you go, folks. Bloody Muscle Bodybuilder in Hell, aka Japanese Evil Dead. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about right there. Now, you can see it right there. It's very low budget, high energy. It's got this punk metal, Japanese punk metal energy from the 90s. They were doing a lot of shit, man. And, in the 80s and 90s, there were films like Tetsuo, the Iron Man, and stuff like that from Japan, which are really good, by the way. Really cool. Of course, Z-Ram, the first one, is quite amusing. And the Japanese were just doing all kinds of freaking movies. Kind of, oscillating between hilarious and over-the-top type stuff, gory, such as this film. And more, obviously darker, serious horror films, such as Audition and those types of films, The Grudge and so forth. But I love it. Obviously, I'm pretty damn sure I will look this up on IMDb, but I'm pretty damn sure that this film was shot in 16 millimeter, which is perfect, because it just gives it that look, and I dig the hell out of it, personally. It's really quite nice indeed, and worth seeing, my good fiends. Oh my God. Yeah, that's what we're talking about right now. So there you have it, folks. That's what I would say are probably the most outrageous, insane films that are on Tubi currently. There's probably a few other ones, Matter of fact, I know there's got to be a few others on Tubi, but those are some of these films are pushing the limits of reality. Let's put it that way. Let's get back to the chat. Let's see what we got here. Radamus is coming. I just put Zombie Ass and Tokyo Gore Police on my Tubi watch list. Get ready. Now, that could be a double feature, Radamus, but once again, I'm going to suggest, just a humble suggestion, that you don't eat anything during Zombie Ass. You know, I would probably eat a pizza during Tokyo Gore Police, even though it is extremely gory and violent, but it's nowhere near as sick as Zombie Ass Toilet of the Dead. Put it that way. Kevin says, careful, Radamus, you'll get put on a watch list yourself. Yes. Oh, good Lord. I'll pass on the toilet zombies. Yeah. It's, you know, it's kind of, look, it's it could be the Japanese equivalent to the German Scheisse movies. I don't know, man. It's not my cup of tea. Okay. Oh God. Oh jeez. It is just truly sick. They were like, you could see these guys sitting around going, okay, what's the sickest, most disgusting movie we could make? And they came up with Zombie Ass Toilet of the Dead, folks. That's what I'm saying right now. Dave James says, Japanese Evil Dead. Now that is shooting for the moon. No lack of confidence there. Yeah. And, you know, there's as you saw in the trailer, there's some really crazy, insane shit that goes on in the film. And it is entertaining. Let's put it that way. There's some practical effects that work and some that don't. Because it's lower budget. I don't know if people realize this, but even the original Evil Dead film from 1981, they had a $300,000 budget for that film. Now, I think that Bloody Bodybuilder from Hell probably had something more like $50,000. That's what I'm guessing. Probably a $50,000 budget. Left-Handed Jedi says, I'll watch the vampire motorcycle. That looks funny as fuck. Yes. And it does have some funny scenes. I mean, they play it totally for the comedy angle. There is no doubt about that. And there are some very funny sequences in it. So there you go. It's in that sense, it definitely works. Hey, Kevin, I had to pull out my thesaurus to find out what coprophilic means. And now you know. All right, folks. Well, that wraps it up for tonight's show. Tonight's look at the sickest films on Tubi, or at least some of the sickest films. I'm sure there's a few other ones, but yeah, I caution, especially with Zombie Ass. Let's take a quick look again. Nah, those are all right. Those are all right. Yeah, it really, Luther the Geek gets a little extreme. That's as far as like actually making you want to throw up. I think that Zombie Ass is the film, and maybe the Bodybuilder, Bloody Muscle Bodybuilder in Hell film. Those two are good candidates for that. But yeah, well, there you go, folks. In any case, I hope you enjoyed this look at the Tubi lineup tonight. And let me take a look here real quick. Okay, there's a couple of things I'm going to lead you out on, folks. And yeah, you know, obviously the last time I tried to play Linda by the Starfires, once again, they shut down the damn stream. So that can't happen. So I've got to play a few clips in lieu of that. So in any case, everybody have a great weekend. And remember, next Friday, I'm pretty damn sure, I'm 99% sure the thing that I've been looking for is arriving tomorrow. So I will be able to show it to you guys next Friday. So you are not going to want to miss that. All right. So everybody have a great weekend, and I will talk to you soon.
Hey, you want a beer?
Or do you want to smoke some pot?
Or we can have premarital sex.
We love premarital sex.
She's done with the campers.
But actually, the master is not away. He is here with us. So I don't know who else is watching the place. I am Torgo. I watch after the place while the master is away. The master is here, so I have no idea who's watching the place. You know the jig. I look after the place, yada yada. The master is with us, so I don't know who's watching the place. One of those will be a good take.